Hello, my friends, and welcome to another exciting episode of the AI Show. I'm Seth Juarez, coming to you from my house. That's the coolest part about doing this show. I can do it from my house. We've got a ton of amazing things for today, but I wanted to check in with you all to see where everyone is coming from. And I'm also going to show you what we're doing. So let me get my pandemic purchase that I use only for this show. Only. That's not true. I used it for a presentation once. Here we go. Adding to screen. Kaboop. Adding to stream. Kaboop. Oh, and I lost my pen. Here it is. Here's my pen and my Wacom tablet. Here we go. Let me tell you what we're doing today, because we've got some amazing things, half of which I know what's happening during the first couple of 30 minutes, 40, but after that, who knows? It's going to be delightful. Okay. All right, so let me turn this down a little bit. We're going to start today, Avi, talking about MLOps with some people that know what they're doing. So pretty excited about that. MLOps with Mo and Setu. Mo and Setu. These are, I put Seth. Gosh. Not Seth. Setu. Setu and I are like really good friends. Well, we are now at least, because look how close our names are. Yes, very similar. Like, I feel like I need to blow this up a little bit here, because, I mean, look at this. Look at this. We're the same person, basically. Okay. And then number two, we had some options last time. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I can't believe it was 2 weeks ago. Oh, no, that's not what I want to do. That's not what... Everything's going wrong for me today. Pandemic purchase has failed me. And then number two, we have more Rochambeau. Last time we left off on the job failed because our data was V1 AML, and now we want to go to V2. So we'll sort that out, and then it's, hold on, I gotta say this in a fun way. React. More React stuff, because I feel like we need to make it look nicer, because it's out there. I mean, if those that are watching, you can actually, I leaked a little bit, excuse me. You can actually go to Rochambeau.ai to see the project live. It's actually there. All right, let's see where you folks are from. We have here Balu. He's coming to us from Seattle, Washington. Welcome. Oh, I know him. Alexander, welcome. Thank you. From sunny Southern California, Mr. Real Estate. I used to live in LA. Delightful place. Here we have our friend, the data scientist. Not the first one, though. The 73rd one from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Muito obrigado. Niagara Falls, Ontario, welcome. Hello. Desde Ecuador. DF Meta. Wow, that's amazing. Oh my goodness. Sammy Depre. You're in Kenya right now, bud? That's cool. Kenya is a delightful place. All right, well, my intro music ran out. So, thank you. Yes, I am. Eu posso dizer umas quantas coisas em português se eu quero. Do you like that? Portuguese is not one of my languages. Dallas, Texas. Welcome, my friend. I'm so glad everyone's here. And like I said, we're going to be talking about MLOps, which to me is a super important topic because I think the reality of the matter is everyone like sells MLOps, but I don't know if you can sell MLOps. I think it's more of a lifestyle, you know? And I've got two friends with me that are going to help me explain it. So here's Mo and here's Setu. How are you, my friends?
Living the lifestyle.
Living the dream.
Yes.
So for those that are watching, what we do is it's kind of chill, but then we do this like it's not super serious, but we do this like show that then we cut out and Microsoft puts, on their channels. And so we're doing that, but this is the fun bits before we do the thing. And so how are you doing, Mo and Setu? We'll start with you, buddy.
Doing well. Having a good time here in Austin, Texas. Pretty hot, but, talking about a hot topic, so everything goes naturally together.
Whoa! Oh, did you see how we put that together? It's hot outside, but then again, it is a hot topic. Oh, wait, hold on. That deserves a... And how about you, Setu?
It's difficult to come back from that, but from Singapore, but right now in New York, also hot and sunny.
But so you all originally you're in a place that you're not originally from, right? So Setu, you're in Singapore, but you're on vacation.
Kind of, yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm all dressed up for the event.
I know, all dressed up and everything. But then again, like I look like I'm dressed up, but you should see what I'm wearing underneath this. Or maybe not. Mo, where are you from originally? Where are you living?
Germany, but I'm in Austin, Texas. So I had this long journey to get from Europe all the way to Texas.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Das ist unglaublich.
Das ist wirklich unglaublich.
Oh man, I am doing the languages today. All right, so I guess we should get serious and do the serious part of the show. Just a couple of rules, my friends. So I'm going to do like a tiny little... I got to turn the background music off because I don't want to do that. So I'm going to be doing like, hey, you're not going to want to miss this episode of the AI Show. We're going to talk all about MLOps. Make sure you tune in. And then I'll do a bumper like that. Wow, that's really loud. I think I need to fix that. Like I have a bumper that I fixed the sound in, but I don't know if that's the one. Does that hurt your ears?
I mean, I'm good.
Well, I'm wearing the headphones.
Oh, okay. So we'll do that. And then we'll do it again. And then we'll do introductions. And then we'll get into the content. Does that work for you all? A couple of rules. Try to look at the camera instead of the screen because otherwise it'll be weird. If you run out of things to say, just stop talking. Any questions for me?
All good.
I'm usually one that mess up. Peggy, by the way, one of our producers, she's in the back end. She knows I'm the one that usually messes up. So, and everyone watching does too. Hold on. Let's see what people are. Let's see if people are. Okay, cool. Oh, look, Jay McCormick is here. Hello. Thank goodness. We can start now. Everyone, Jay is here. We can start. Okay. Here we go. Are you ready? You're not going to want to miss this episode of the AI Show where we talk all about MLOps V2. Unifying MLOps at Microsoft. Make sure you tune in. Hello and welcome to this episode of the AI Show where we're talking all about MLOps V2, unifying MLOps at Microsoft. I have two special guests, Mo and Setu. Hello, my friends. Why don't you introduce yourselves? We'll start with you, Mo.
Hey, very good to be here. I'm very excited. So, Mo Steller, I am the chief architect and main designer of the solution accelerator MLOps V2. Happy to be here. Setu?
Hi, this is Setu from warm and sunny Singapore. I'm a colleague of Mo doing the same MLOps piece and building up the solution architecture.
Fantastic. So here's the thing that I want to start with, because we hear MLOps, but sometimes it becomes a little confusing as to exactly how we should think about it. So Mo, we'll start with you. Why don't you take us through how one should think about MLOps?
It's how much time do I have, right? So that's the first question, right? So it's really like a process of platform, people, and overall processes of an organization, essentially, on how to design a system that helps you to operationalize ML models or any type of artificial intelligence with a particular tool stack. So you see my sentence is already very long and very convoluted. And so that's the main challenge really with MLOps, why it is sort of like an unsolved field. Everybody talks about it, but then there is something new every month that comes out. So, and today we are here to give you a solution essentially that helps you to solve this really hard problem.
Awesome. Well, do you have something to show us or something to get our frame of mind in the right way?
Of course.
All right. So let's get your screen up. Are you sharing your screen, buddy? Oh, there we go. I don't see. Oh, there it is. All right. I got it.
So what we are talking about today is MLOps V2, and I'm here with Setu, who really helped from a development standpoint to support this effort. So we're two of the heroes basically that are going to introduce this solution accelerator to you. And how I'm thinking about what we can cover sort of over the next couple of minutes is talking about what fundamentally MLOps is and how it translates into these techniques basically that help you to enable MLOps at scale in a modular and very secure way. So I put up a small definition of MLOps, how Microsoft kind of defines MLOps. There are certain types of variations out there, and I don't want you to get hung up on this particular definition. This is a definition that helps you to enable and really define MLOps in your organizations. But if you're working in a particular industry, for example, the definition can look a little bit different. And that's what makes it really so hard. Everybody has like a slightly different understanding of it. But again, this is the view of how we are interpreting it with our tool and our solution accelerator that we have built, Unifying MLOps at Microsoft.
Awesome.
If you're looking, so to speak, at the state of MLOps, we sort of have these 5 big areas available, and they're really concepts in itself. And you can kind of already say that in the train model piece and then the package model piece, you probably see more like a data scientist type of persona, maybe also in the validate model. But when it comes to deploy and the model monitoring, other personas such as an ML engineer or like a DevOps engineer or whomever is available, depending on the size of the company, is really becoming important there. And you see that with this very simplification here, that many people actually take part within an MLOps process. And when we see these type of diagrams like this, I just can say as a data scientist, I think myself, this is easy. I can do this all myself, right? I write Python pipelines and I'm good to go. But the really rude awakening is that this is a hyper complex process with many different tools, CI/CD tools, standard and practices basically that apply individually to each of these brackets, and then overall automation tools that help me to enable security and scalability of models.
That's cool. Yeah, and like I said, it's a process, and it's cool that you're laying it out this way, because I feel like me as a data scientist, field type guy, I love the model part, but that's not where all the value is, and you extracting it this way is pretty cool.
So Seth, this is what I always going to say, right? The modeling is the easy part, and it's like the smallest percentage in the overall pipeline. So I like the modeling too because it's exciting. You can dive into algorithms. You have all the nerdy talk going on. But really the other, I almost want to say 90% of the work is operationalization, standards, practices, solutioning. How does it fit in the enterprise architecture? There are so many questions around this that can be very interesting, but it's not really like this sexy type of work essentially.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So here's another question, because I noticed that in the title it's MLOps V2. Can you explain the V2 part? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, certainly. So within the past in Microsoft, we approached usually MLOps at scale in very different variations. So many smart people had many really good ideas. But sometimes if you talk, let's say, to a healthcare customer and a retail customer, the solution that was built for either or was not really a fit. And we kind of understood that because of these variations of technology stacks and also the variation of AI workloads, and what I mean by that is NLP, CV, and classical ML, we really needed a very modular solution essentially. So when we basically morphed from MLOps V1, you may say, to MLOps V2, and I don't want to make this a product term here, more like a evolving state, we were able to create an asset that can dynamically create a system for you depending on your choices. So think about a large Cartesian product where you decide, I want this, 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 this. I throw it in a box, and then you have a shipped system. So that's the big new thing here.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, what else you got to show us, my friend?
Yeah. So I want to show you a little bit the value proposition of what's going to happen within MLOps V2. And I always like to start off with, I guess, something funny. This cartoon actually looks like one of my dear colleagues. So I always like to show this. And it really like exemplifies the state of MLOps, of what's going on within this very complex system. So you run in error messages. It is a very, very tedious process to set up the automation of AI. Also, if you think about AI is so impactful or can like make such hard decisions for humans that are in the end, need to be monitored and need to be very closely watched by business decision makers and technical decision makers. So
that makes sense.
Go ahead.
No, that makes total sense. Like I was empathizing with the guy, that's like, wow, I got a different error message, because I have been there, as many of our viewers have as well.
Yeah, me too. It can be painful, but we're really trying to make this easier here, right? This is the end goal, that if you think about your data scientist, you want to ship your product, your model fast. You want to go fast to production essentially. And there's so much automation in between and so much tedious work that we're trying to take out of the equation so that you're happy as a data scientist, but also your product manager is happy, the person that is responsible of getting a solution out.
Right.
So we have identified different type of challenges when we talk to customers. One is roles and skills related. So you have many different personas in an enterprise. I always like to say, as larger the enterprise, as more role diversity you have, and as more specialized the tasks are. So the project really starts to blow up essentially with whom works on an MLOps type of project. Second, we have this tool variation. So an enterprise may have, RStudio, Visual Studio Code, certain type of machine learning services, different CI/CD tools, container-hosted tools, and so forth. So it creates this huge tech stack, essentially, that is sometimes even different from department to department. And it is really hard to say, I have developed one MLOps system, and now I'm going to bring this to my neighboring department so they can benefit from the same system. Well, guess what? They use a different tool, and the work that has been done over the last month is kind of not really applicable. Thirdly, we see that in artifacts and versioning, often that there are challenges around model registries and really trying to understand how to tag models, how they can be tagged and create metadata so that people have insights in the model state, and also how to define source code that is resilient and secure for the future. And lastly, when it comes to the development and production, the goal is really to move, I just said that a second ago, move fast to product. Often data science projects are getting stuck in this experimentation iteration, which again is cool for the data scientist because you learn a lot. But in the end, for a business essentially that needs to make business decisions on AI, they basically want to move fast to product and want to be able to monitor these solutions in a sufficient way.
Yeah, I mean, this is cool stuff, and these are clearly challenges that I've seen. I'm working on a project just by myself, and there's a lot of different choices people can make just on their own. Now imagine all the other people that are involved too.
Yeah, it is really complex. I'm working with a couple of customers together here at Microsoft, right? Those are really, really large global enterprises, and they are just seeking so hard for a system that they can dynamically create and apply worldwide to any type of data science department they go, be it in finance, be it in marketing, be it on the product side, anywhere, right? And so it is just a tough challenge. And so what we have identified, essentially, it really comes down to, if you're thinking from an MLOps-centric perspective, that you want to include people, and I can't highlight this point enough, because the people create the product. So we want to include the people. We want to include the process. Everybody has their own particular process, and it is very important to create an agnostic system that can take on any type of process and make it applicable back to the enterprise and the platform, so that you have tool variations you can pick from, or different type of services. So you have a very agile way of bringing basically an MLOps system at scale to an enterprise.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of the union of the people, process. I say product, but platform just equally the same. If you don't have all three, it's not going to work.
Yeah, so I always like to say the 3 Ps. I'm not trying to market a new term here, but I think that works very well because it kind of refers to these 3 large pillars.
Correct. Yes.
So let's get a little bit more technical and talk about the approach, because I think that's what people are interested in. You have seen basically in the prior slides sort of the holistic motion, which is really important for MLOps. It is not just you write code and you're done. Everybody has to be somehow on board. With MLOps V2, from a technical perspective, we have 5 pillars we are realizing in this work here. First, we're offering something very simple. So in the end, if you think about, we want to have a solution where the data scientist can focus on their project and doesn't need to worry about automated pieces that they have to write over and over again. That's maintenance work for ML engineers or other type of personas that work in AI ecosystems. We want to offer a secure systems. When we're talking about secure workspaces in AML, the solution is basically comes natively secure. So this entire motion of, you have to worry about your VNet, you have to worry about, I don't know, different types of security measures. You have to build them in basically into your system. We'll take it out of the equation and we give it to you naturally and by default. We want to have a solution that is focused on speed. So I mentioned this before, that the value proposition of MLOps should really be, we're moving fast to product and not being in these 6-month plus cycles of building systems over and over and over again, and we'll never get done. So we want something that is basically repeatable at scale for your enterprise. And lastly, focused on modularity, so that you can pick, I want this workload, I want this CI/CD tool, I want, I don't know, Azure Databricks, I want Azure ML, I want Azure Synapse. So it gives you sort of like a stack of technologies and a stack of choices depending on your AI workload that makes it possible to work through a single pane of glass, essentially. And what I mean by that is really that you have a solution you can over and over and over redeploy with different type of measures depending on your personal decision. So we give the decision how you want to build your system back to you, but the entire code backend is sort of automated and abstracted for you so that your data scientists can focus on building models.
I mean, this is cool. I feel like I'm sold. I feel like I want to get into like how does someone do this?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is there like you mentioned the approach. How should someone set up their projects? You mentioned like a template and reusability. I'd love to see the thinking behind that a little bit.
Yeah, totally. So we are currently operating of 3 repositories. We basically have a header repository that is really just a concept that we call a sparse checkout, which is an SH script where you define basically these variables of what you want to use. Do you want to use AML basically? I want classical ML. I want as a CI/CD tool Azure DevOps. I want and so forth, right? Then we have a repo basically that holds our infrastructure templates basically that allow you to deploy in Bicep, in Terraform. Again, more decisions, right?
Right.
And then we have a repo, which is the third and last repo that basically holds all our project code. So if you decide to deploy an NLP workload or a classical ML workload, we give you a demo where you can see how everything works out of the box. And then you say, I want to try this myself with my own model. And you just plug in and play your own model under a certain type of conformity, I may say, having a separated train script and so forth, which are more, development standards you should need to adhere to. But you can plug it in and just run it yourself. And what you can see here in the lower part of the slide is you can basically build a project over and over and over and over again. And I can just stand here and say it over and over and over because it is just so repeatable. And the system that you basically deploy applies for any type of the personas that are part of this type of MLOps approach. And Seth, I would like to show you an architecture if you don't mind.
Yeah,
maybe this becomes more clear.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm understanding now that this is more of like, here's all the stuff, and you basically from the menu of options pull what you want, or if you know it's an NLP or a vision, you already have something you built, and you can just run it and then substitute it with your stuff. Am I getting this right?
Yes, that is correct. Cool. And on the next slide, actually, we have an architecture here. It is admittedly a little bit small to read, but the problem is that MLOps is so huge, you can't get it on a slide. And I want to just touch on the high ecosystem here. And I would recommend to you later on to look at our solution accelerator, and you can really double click and zoom in. But if you look at number 1 in the left corner, you see a data estate. This is for classical machine learning, which is agnostic to us because we say we don't care where your data comes from. You can basically use data from anywhere in your ML pipeline. Number 2 is focusing on the infrastructure. So that needs to be set up basically to get everything in place. And what I mean by that is workspaces, compute. Everything basically that goes into an MLOps system needs to be there to even work with it. And that's also templatized. And we basically, based on your choices, set that up to you. So it's like an environment that is getting built in your subscription. Versus in number 3, in your secure workspace, you basically have we call this the inner loop, your model essentially that you develop, or you can choose the demo we give you out of the box. But in here, we have the typical data science lifecycle, you may call it, or flow, where you basically build a model step by step, right? And this is really getting your tabular data from any of the agnostic data sources, then do your EDA, feature engineering, creating a model, training it, and registering it. And if you're not happy again, you do it all over again. And you do this as long as you're getting to a step that in number 4, you're going to register your model in a agnostic registry in Azure Machine Learning, essentially. And once you are there, you kind of like end from a environment perspective, the dev life cycle, and you're ready, depending on your organization, to move forward and move this model into a test stage. So in this outer loop, which is here represented in number 5, we have sort of like this really heavy backend system, you may call it, that we give you out of the box again. So in number 6, in your staging workspace, we run basically a lot of tests out of the box. So different types of data checks, unit tests, smoke tests, tests on responsible AI, basically make sure that the quality of your model is ensured. and that endpoints can be deployed depending on if you're running batch or near real time, that they are working. And once you get all these green check marks there and your system says you're good to go, we just flip this and deploy this into your production environment with really 3 choices. So again, you have the batch choice. You can run Azure Arc on a Kubernetes cluster, especially when you're multi-cloud and so forth, or you run the online managed endpoint, which is more for near real time. So this is all great, right? Now you have your model in production. This is all done through like a YAML pipeline deployment. Everything comes out of the box, as I mentioned. Setu will demo this here in a second. And then in number 8, you basically have your monitoring portion. So that's where we basically look first at the model and the data. And the model monitoring may appear a little easier in supervised scenarios where you have a variable where you can basically compare your actuals versus the now incoming data or forecasted data and so forth. But when it comes to data monitoring, that's like something that's really hard, right? That may work on tabular data sets, but think about this. Data monitoring on images or data monitoring on language, on natural language. How do you do this, right? Those are really sophisticated concepts.
Indeed.
Where we even need to work on with research to understand how this works.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving every aspect of this because it goes from the inner, to the outer, and then to this. There's this admin thing as well, which is our research has shown that's where people spend the most of their time. Now, you said if it's a little bit different for things like NLP and vision. How do you account for the changes in those?
Yeah, so the main difference is that some NLP tasks tend to be unsupervised. So you sort of have challenges there. So how do you basically, on a summarization model, understand data drift, right? If you don't really have a label. So that's just really hard to figure out. And there needs to be work done also from a research standpoint to get to an enterprise solution that is a little bit more abstracted in the applied AI area. And then if you look at number 9 and number 10, and I want to focus here actually more number 9, how do you retrain a model? So in this classical machine learning use case, you see that you can have, maybe in forecasting examples, you can have an automated retrain, or you trigger a new data science project where you then have a manual retrain where the arrow goes all the way back to the model deployment. But for example, in a computer vision scenario, we don't recommend to automatically retrain, rather to relabel images, which is a task of responsible AI in itself. How do you basically label? The person who labels, is this biased? But the recommendation from our side is just kick off this project again, because we have understood in the past that computer vision can be fairly complex, especially by creating training data. And to your question with NLP, this is an architecture that now focuses on NLP. So you see a little bit that the inner loop is quite different and focuses more on NLP steps to build a model. We also recommend to basically not necessarily auto-retrain. If language changes over time, and let's say you're able to identify some type of drift, you often have to recreate a new corpus to fine-tune your model. And I say fine-tune here because we know the reality is in the world of transformers nowadays that nobody trains a model for, or the least amount of people, let me put it this way, train a model from scratch for many months. Most people download the model, embeddings, and just fine-tune them with their own data.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And so I'm looking over there. I think it's number, let me double check. It's number 9. I see that now there's a human in the loop as part of the recommendation. Yes. I saw that for computer vision and for NLP. Is that right?
That is right. And here again, I just want to underline this. We're working under an ethical framework. We want to ensure that the most sensitive tasks, which we define as computer vision, as we know that there are very responsible AI use cases for computer vision, but also language, where you basically have certain type of isms in language, essentially, that can introduce bias, are checked by a human. And the human in the loop in these MLOps systems is really, really important. The full automation, I can just say this personally, as one of the creators here, we do not fully support because we want to have data scientists and business decision makers looking at the data and looking at potential bias implications of models, especially in the transformer space.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And so essentially, this is all a very cookie cutter approach with specific approaches to things that need humans in the loop too, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's correct. And I want to give it now the microphone actually to Seth. Sorry, to Setu. See, now I'm confusing you two as well. You started this earlier.
I know.
to Setu and have Setu talk a little bit more about the technical implementation so that you can see how this architecture that we are providing you, more like as a blueprint, really becomes live within your ecosystem.
Yeah, and I love that because I wanted to go to you, Setu, because I think I get a sense for what this looks like in principle, but I'd love to see what it looks like in action. Do you think you could share some of that with us?
Yeah, sure. I think Mo gave kind of a pretty good overview of what's there. So let me jump on to the GitHub and get started. Right. After all, we are all coders here, so we can get going with that.
Let's do it.
All right. So here's our page, which is on GitHub Azure MLOps v2. As Mo mentioned, right, this is essentially our header repo, right? It doesn't have any code, but it does have getting started documentation that you can work with. It also has our architectures that Mo was sharing, some very high quality versions of it. So you can zoom in, figure out if that's what it's needed. And the good part of it is we have actually, with our code, we have replicated that architecture so you can play around with the solution that we have given up and work with that. The other good part of this is, even though it's like a demo repo, from what Mo mentioned as well, you can pick and choose how you want to deploy it. Let's say you're using Terraform, we'll give you a Terraform script, or you want to use Bicep for your infrastructure, we'll give you that as well. You want to use CLI, or some people prefer SDK version of it. So all of these combinations are available for people to get started, and they can pick and choose how to get this up. So the first step of this would be go here, clone your repo and start to modify the script. So once you kind of modify the script, this is how it's going to look like. Your first few lines are going to be about, tell me what you want to do, right? So we have the first line, which talks about infrastructure. The second line, essentially about classical ML or NLP or computer vision. How do you want to kind of do this deployment? Some people prefer CLI, some prefer SDK. So we kind of give you that choice. And then give your repo a name. And all this is essentially doing is sparse checkout. Now, sparse checkout is a relatively new feature of Git. So make sure you're updating your Git version to the latest one so that you'll be able to use it. Otherwise, you'll run in all the bunch of errors in there.
Of course.
All right. So once you configure your script the way you want it, now this will create a custom code for you, which you can then, push it into your own code repo. Right. So I've kind of given that, my new project name is going to be MLOps test. And, I'm kind of doing it on my personal repo. So it's going to be Setu. Right. So it's going to kind of push that code for you. So again, make sure you're setting up your Git and everything so that it's good to go. Now let me run the script. It's not going to push the code out there, but it will show you that, just the steps that I kind of mentioned, it's going to kind of quickly configure it to the settings that you have given. And now you are good to go, right? Now, what all code it has code for infrastructure, right? So now you can set up your infrastructure the way it's shown in the architecture, right? You have a secure version, you have a non-secure version. With your different types of environments, you have a dev environment, you have a prod environment. You can kind of set that up as well with your Python code, right? The CLI SDK version of it, right? Of course, it's not going to push it, but you can kind of start to get to that. Now, let me go back to GitHub and show you how it looks like. And once I kind of push the code, I've done it a while back, and you get a code that's good to get started with. Now, the way we kind of did this is kind of kept it in a very, very configurable manner. So, like we said, we have two environments, dev and prod, and you can configure your names in here, right? So make sure some of these names are unique so that, when you kind of go out and deploy it, it's going to kind of work through that.
Right.
And you kind of give your names to your namespace, your postfix, and, if you want, feel free to configure any of these things, right? So once you set this up, now you're good to go, right? Now you can, say, okay, let's build our pipelines and deploy our infrastructure, deploy our model training pipeline, so on. So let me walk you through that. Now, before I set up my my pipelines and everything, I need to make sure I have my service principles set up so that the pipelines can do what I'm asking it to do. So, again, I set up 2 of them beforehand. Again, in the start getting guide, it kind of walks you through the step of what permissions you need and how tight or how loose you wanted to keep it, right? Depending on your organization needs. So you set up your service connections. I've also set up my GitHub connection because it certainly needs to pull in the pipelines and the codes for it as well. So once you do that, now you're good to go. So let's start with adding a new pipeline, right? I've already connected my GitHub, so I don't need to get started. Now I say that, my MLOps test, my new fresh repo that was created by the cookie cutter is now ready. I can, start to use this. Now I've picked up my repo. Now it's going to ask me, where are my pipelines, right? You want to start with new or you want to pick existing ones? And the good part is we give you existing pipelines to go with. So we are going to pick the last option in there, existing pipelines, which I already have in my YAML files. And you will find a bunch of them that are in there, right? A good way to kind of look at it is, understand, if you're looking at your DevOps for your models, it's going to be sitting in there. And for your infrastructure, we have sitting it in the infrastructure pipeline. So I'm just going to pick that just for the demo, and it will kind of show you the editor part of it. Now, let me just take a couple of minutes to kind of explain, how we kind of did it. I kind of modified it for our demo here today. Now, some people might have more than one environment, right? So depending on how you're promoting your model, how you're promoting your code, we are showing you a approach of doing that, right? So now instead of working with your approvals and everything through Azure DevOps, I'm sure a lot of DevOps engineers know how to do it. One approach that we have here is do it via GitHub. So when your code gets promoted, you're kind of working with the latest code in the specific environments, and I can pick up the names from the YAMLs that I showed you earlier.
Got it.
The other cool part of it is a lot of these are reusable templates, which also sit in a separate repo. Because a lot of times you're going to kind of reuse those steps over and over again. And imagine, right, we love to copy paste, right? And, and a lot of times, a lot of errors are introduced because you're copy pasting them. So what we have done is now you have a template in there. So instead of saying that, okay, create a resource group or, connect to a workspace for every step that you do, you can just refer to a YAML file, and then it will kind of just copy those steps from there. So in a sense, right, for organizations, you can create a more structured way of how your organization does MLOps. And this is one of the suggested component approaches that we have adapted for this MLOps steps.
This is cool. And so basically this is setting up the full infrastructure that you would need to run the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah. So once you set this up, run it, and I kind of did my pre-work. I baked the cake ready, so on the TV it looks good. So I do have my infrastructure, the one that I was just deploying so far. I did my model training, online deployment, and batch deployment. Let's just dive a little bit deeper into MLOps model. Now, when we kind of go in there, right, I ran it a couple of times and I wanted to show you how, right? So what it's taking is, it's taking my data that I already have, going through what we call as inner loop steps of preparing the data, cleaning it up, training it, and, creating a model out of it, right? So it's doing all these steps for me. And let me show you how the pipeline really looks like, right? So now I have, I check out my code, I install the AML CLI, connect to Azure Workspace, and then start running my job. When I run my job, right, you can see here it's taking about 27 minutes. This is where it's kind of setting up my compute, setting up my workspace, and running the code in there. So let me show you how the pipeline really looks like.
So as this is getting started, if you run it again, is it going to set up all the compute again for you, or is it just going to use whatever was set up before?
it's going to reuse what you have set up before. So the first time when you run it, often takes a longer time because it's setting up your compute, it's setting up your environment, but subsequent runs are much faster.
That's cool.
The other thing that I wanted to point out is, you saw that, the runs are going to be, my pipeline was running for about 27 minutes while it was doing the training. And I'm sure a lot of DevOps guys, who are watching this right now would feel a little bit uneasy. This is only for demo, right? So you can pick and choose if you don't want to kind of keep it a blocking run, right? So if you believe that, hey, once I submit the pipeline, let it run on its own and not block my MLOps runners, you can do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's machine learning folks are like, oh, it only took 27 minutes. That's awesome. With infrastructure too? Really? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like you said 27 minutes and I didn't balk at all. I was like, oh, okay. It's a nice model. I mean, so that's so yeah, but the MLOps folks get upset about this, right?
Yeah, you're blocking my runners, right? Free it up, right? Just submit. You can do that. You can submit your pipeline and let it run, and it's going to go out and do its stuff. But then again, you'll have to make sure that the run is complete before you do that. Now, in my steps itself, right now, what I did was I broke it out into different components, and you can see that my pipeline is fairly, I wouldn't say complex, but there are a lot of flows going in from one place to another, right? So the good part of this is I can reuse these components that I have in another project. So somebody doesn't have to write it again, right? So let's say I have my evaluate model that I have built up, or my train model, which let's say I'm using light GBM model. I can reuse this in a different project itself. So, once you have a component, you register it, the reuse comes in there as well in your machine learning workspace too. And then you can connect it however you want it based on the needs that you have for the team as well. So it's not opinionated from that perspective, and it allows for reuse and sharing across the organizations.
So here's a question. How do you evaluate the models? It looks like you made an evaluate model component. What are you comparing against other models, or what's the evaluation process like?
Yeah. So in evaluation, we do quite a few things in there, right? So let's say you're running with a couple of other models in there, right? So the first time when it runs, it registers the model because it doesn't have any reference to compare it with, right? But when you run that subsequent run under the same experiment, what it's going to do is it's going to compare the model performance with that of the previously registered model. And let's say that registered model is in production. Now it's going to, based on certain metrics, it's going to say, is my model performing better? Yes or no. If it's not, I am not going to deploy it. Right. So we kind of use that one as one of the ways to make sure that, I'm not just randomly registering the models if it doesn't make sense. Right. So if people are playing around with algorithms, with feature engineering, and kind of developing their models, right, you can kind of still do your experiment, but only the best model gets registered. So in some sense, it kind of brings some semblance into how your pipelines are run.
And that's clever because you said you're looking at previously registered models and comparing, because just because you train a new model doesn't mean it's going to be better.
Absolutely.
And that's really smart. I like that.
And, as an example, right, I think the screens are smaller, but you can see, in the small window of okay, let me try to bring it up. In a small window of mine, it's kind of also showing you the comparison. So blue one is the previously registered model. The orange one is what I did right now, right? So you can see that it didn't do well. So it's going to skip registering the model, right? So that's what is happening in my step at this point.
That's cool. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
And, we kind of talked about, doing this in a responsible way, right? So my evaluate model also does a couple of things. It also evaluates for fairness. And, in the whole thing of doing this, I never explained what I'm doing in this whole process. So my whole data set and the model that I'm building in here is about taxi fare prediction, right?
Okay.
So given a starting location, given an ending location, and the daytime parameters, I try to estimate what is it going to cost. And in my city for this demo, I have 2 vendors in there, right? So I want to make sure that, my model is being fair to those vendors and not being biased across that. So I use our responsible AI toolkit to kind of do that evaluation in there. So that model fairness evaluation is also done as part of my evaluation.
Awesome. And can you click, there's a little expand button right beneath job overview. Click that one right there. There, down. No, sorry. No. If you go to the, no, not that one.
Let me get back to where I was.
Yeah. There you go. So you see right next to the one that closes it, there's an expand button too. Not that one. That one. Yes. Lovely.
So in my model, right, I have set up, like I said, right, there are 2 vendors in my city, and these are the 2 subgroups that I have, right? So I've already set up the fairness. Let me walk you through, which metrics that I'm going to run with. And since this is a cost, I'm predicting a real number. This essentially becomes a regression problem. So I'm just going to work with mean square error, and what is the metric that I'm going to evaluate the model with. And I have my model, and you can see that right now I'm comparing the 2 models that I have created, and you can see that my current model does have some amount of bias in there as compared to the previously trained model, which had relatively lesser errors associated with that, right? So it's not doing good. It still needs a little bit of tuning, but it kind of gives you an idea that I can make this as part of my workflow, right? I don't have to kind of go out and do this separately. I can use my existing models and existing steps to kind of do it right in my process.
Yeah, and that's cool because then in your evaluate step, you can actually use fairness as a measure of whether something is good or not, and whether you want to put it in the registry.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's cool.
And I also have another step that I did as part of my evaluate, which is my model explanations, right? Again, you want to make sure that the models that you're putting out are doing what they are supposed to do, and they're not looking at this. In CVs we have seen, you look at the background and it's kind of predicting where things are, right? So your typical feature importances, or whether you want to play around, right? This whole explorer is out there for people to start to play with, and this is also one of the steps that we set up for working through that. And as expected, your distance is one of the bigger factors of your cost, which is how it should be.
And this is really cool, and that's why it took 27 minutes, and it did all of this too.
Yes, as part of the whole process.
That's really cool.
Right.
That's really cool. So
and once I have, so I did my, so once I have my, once I have done my steps, and the model is kind of registering that, and you can see that the model does get registered in the model registry, which is something that now I can start to go out and deploy as an online endpoint or a batch endpoint, right? So again, the way we kind of do this, typically people know that you write a scoring code and you kind of do your online or batch deployments. The way we have done it is through the ML flow models, which doesn't require a scoring code. Which is cool, right? Because you have built your model, you have built your pipeline. Why don't use that when you're kind of doing that? So you don't essentially require a scoring code itself. So we use ML flow model to register it, and that essentially can just go into your online or batch endpoints without much inputs in there.
That's cool. That's why ML flow is awesome, and we love it here at where we work. That's cool. So we're kind of running low on time. Any other things that you want to show us to wrap up?
Of what it can do. I have. So the next one I'm going to show you is online deployment and batch deployment. Just wanted to show you that all of these pipelines are available as part of the demo. So in the online pipeline, again, I'm not going to walk you through the steps. You can believe me that it works. You can see that I did it not too long ago. And let me open up the endpoint. So it's, as you know, for most folks who have worked with Azure, the the managed endpoints are essentially what we have, which create both real-time and batch endpoints. So it has a flexibility for allowing you to scale up and down as the demand permits, right? So I have my taxi online model, which is deployed using my pipelines, and it's up and running, right? So of the pipelines, we also do the test, right? And typically people have different ways of deploying that. We have kind of taken a blue-green approach where, we kind of start with the existing model, pass a smaller data to the newer models and scale it up as we start to believe that the model is doing well. So that's there in the existing pipeline, and it will swap out blue and green depending on how many times you have deployed it. So I have a sample data in here. I'll just quickly copy it and show you that it works. And this is my real-time endpoint, right? I can do my batch as well. Batch will not keep your machines running only when it's needed. It will create that cluster and do its job and then throw the output, and then you're good to go.
Well,
these are the pipelines that we have, and we have more in.
Yeah, and I feel like you're lagging a little bit, so I just want to say this is awesome stuff, and we're kind of running low on time. So I want to go to you, Mo, just to finish up. Any wrap up commentary you have for this?
Yeah, so I just want to underline that we are building like these other technology patterns in there. I mentioned Synapse earlier, IoT. We're likely going to also look at a recommender solution and so forth. Azure Databricks is a big one. So this will be part of the solution accelerator overall. And then I just can say, contribute, right? This is a framework we basically give everyone. We are looking for PRs, we're looking for community engagement, we're looking for folks just to be active and help us to really build out something really big here that is unified.
I love it.
If you want to catch us at conferences or anywhere, we are always helping others to be successful there, to speak there and so forth. Please do so.
Awesome. And I'm putting the link. This is the GitHub link. It should be below for those that want to participate. Again, it feels like a very nice cookie cutter way of doing a complex MLOps process. Setu showed some amazing stuff when it comes to, even because I thought you just trained the model, and I was like, 27 minutes, that's great. But doing the evaluation on it, and then doing the fairness, that was amazing. Any final words from you, Mo?
I think from my side, I'm good. I'm really excited. That's all I can say. We worked on this for the last couple of months, and a project has its height and has its lows and so forth. And we're finally at a point that we can roll something out in a very unified way. And I can just underline this over and over again. This is something really big. And I'm excited, Seth. I'm excited.
Well, I am too. I'm going to try to incorporate it into some of the stuff I do. Thanks so much for being with us, Mo and Setu. Thank you so much for watching. We're learning all about MLOps V2, unifying MLOps at Microsoft. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Take care. All right, that was awesome. Oh, did Mo leave already? Oh, dang it.
No,
I'm
there
here.
you are.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So thank you. Sorry, Setu. I wasn't trying to cut you off, but you were lagging a little bit, and I didn't want to. You still lagging a little bit? I don't know. All right. So here's some comments from the folks. By the way, thank you for staying and answering questions. For those that are watching and are just tuning in, you're like, what the heck is going on? So I record a show like in front of a live studio audience. Y'all are our live studio. And so that's a show for Microsoft that I do called the AI show that we put into our docs and stuff. But I continue the live stream. It's a 2-hour live stream. And so I'm here to answer any questions that folks may have. Well, not me, but Setu and Mo. So here's a couple of things. Someone actually tried this. Shabna Nazar. Thank you. I've tried this accelerator for Classic ML. Super easy to implement. Amazing, Shabna. We should have you on. Tell us what you're building. Your reaction to that.
I mean, I just can say that's awesome. That's good feedback. We're trying to stay grounded. Not everything works the first time and so forth. But if somebody tried this and actually says it's super easy to implement, this is exactly the value proposition we are trying to drive, right? It is easy. And the data scientist can drive very complex workloads and can go back to their product manager or to whomever and say, hey, I'm ready to go to production.
And another thing from Shabna, when trying to rerun, creation of key vault step fails, says already present, so it's configured to move to the next step if key vault fails, which is exactly what you wanted to do, right?
Exactly. And again, if something fails, we'll fix it.
Okay. But it failed because it was already there. So it's like, we don't need to make this anymore. All right. From Aussie Trady. Awesome show. Wish I'd found it sooner. I wish we'd found you sooner, Aussie. Okay. Here's a question. How do I check which previously registered model to compare? Does it check just the one right before? Great question.
Setu, you want to take this?
Yeah. So the way we kind of wrote it is, let's say when you're running this for the first time, right, it has nothing to compare, right? So it will register that model. So that becomes your first model. Subsequently, let's say you have better models that you've done, right? So it takes the latest registered model to compare it with if the model exists. If it doesn't, it will take whatever it has and says, here's my baseline, and I'm going to compare everything to the baseline itself. So that's how it has been set up.
Oh, and this is cool because what this does, it forces only the best models to be registered, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, like I make the mistake of registering everything, which is not useful. I mean, artifacts are cool, but I don't know. I feel like you only want to store the best artifacts. Here's another cool observation. Kai, welcome, my friend. I have no idea what's being discussed or how I got here. The story of my life. But I still find it interesting nonetheless. If you could thumbnail sketch, Mo, for Kai, what are we talking about?
Yeah, we're talking about MLOps, machine learning operations. So basically, how to take a machine learning model and package it up so that an enterprise environment can use it in production in a very efficient way.
Seth Ops with MLOps. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I have to pause the show for a second because Janny Skew number 7 is here. Hold on. I got to do his intro. Janny Skew 7. I've always wondered, Janny Skew, why the number 7? Is it because it's a prime number? Oh my gosh, this is cool. All right, anything else from you, my friends? I feel like we've ran out of the questions that have been put in there. Anything else from you all before we go to our wonderful and esteemed audience? I'll put some music behind, so it's like final words from you, Mo.
Well, I'm trying to groove here, basically, with the music you're putting on. Yeah, final words. Thanks for the opportunity, Seth. And again, for the audience or anybody who really wants to try MLOps, try out the Solution Accelerator and give us your feedback. Right? This is not top down. We're saying how things should be or shouldn't be. This is like community engagement and really lives through that.
I love it. Setu, anything from you, my friend?
No, I think, encourage, just go on the GitHub page, try it out. And if you do encounter issues, just log it in GitHub and we should be good to go. We should be checking those and helping you out. All
right. Well, we'll see y'all later. We'll have to have you on again so that maybe you could show us some things that have been implemented that you can show us in this pattern. Because I think like showing us like the rudiments, but showing us like a working living one, like having, how you didn't understand what a frog looked like until you had to dissect one in junior high? I don't know. Did you have to do that? Do you do that in Germany? Dissect animals?
No, we're like a very vegan type of country, and we don't enforce animal cruelty.
Oh, I feel Setu, did you ever I was going to say sacrifice an animal. That's not what I meant.
We had to do it and then find out, where its organs were in its body. So, yeah.
So that's a really bad analogy, but that's what we want to do, but humanely without animals. So maybe we'll have you on another time to do that. Okay, my friends. We'll talk to you soon, okay? All right. See you later, Mo, and see you later, Setu. Hello, friends. Now it's just us. Just us. Hold on, I actually have a voice for that. Sorry if I scared you. All right. So I don't remember where we left off. We're going to go into Rochambeau.ai. And if you're wondering, you can actually go to Rochambeau.ai right now if you want to see what we're building. Rochambeau.ai. Look at that. Why isn't it letting me use my camera? Permissions on this site. Camera. Allow. Okay. Doop. Refresh. There you go. And so here's my camera. Now you get two of me. And if I put my hand here, whoop, 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 paper. Oh, not scissors. Here. Rock. By the way, this is what we're looking at. This is where our website stinks right now. So that's why. And then let's get some scissors in here. Scissors. Boom. Oh, whoops. I pushed the wrong thing. Control. Oh, jeez. What am I doing here? Control 1. There you go. Scissors. And look, it's pretty confident of the scissoring of the scissors here. So, all right. So how do I get out? There we go. What is going on? Okay. So that's what we're actually building. And the thing about this is it requires a double approach to things. And let me get my pen out here so we can write again on this. So come on, here we go. So let me go and do let me do a different color here. A yellow. So there's two parts. There's the website, and then there's the AI part. And the AI part actually is composed of two things. I haven't told you this, right? But there's the two parts. There's the computer vision part, and then there's the game AI, which we're going to build. But this game AI is not going to be machine learning. We're not going to do it machine learning wise. We're just going to do it standard, because game mechanics, you can use machine learning, I guess, for more complicated game. But our game is really silly, and we're gonna use machine learning, but in a weird way, I guess is what I'm telling you. And we haven't done that. We haven't done that part yet. So where we left off last time, and I think this is true, is our Rochambeau training failed. And I'm using the latest and greatest stuff. Okay. So let's take a look at our last experiment. I've done some other things since. I feel like I haven't been cheating on anybody. Okay. That's not what I'm saying. But I had to run some other experiments for other things. But this Rochambeau experiment failed. So let's go and remember why it failed. ¿Qué pasó? This one, I don't know why this one's even here. We don't need that. Yes, delete. Somebody did an experiment in Rochambeau. Not cool. Because I actually share this. I don't know if you know this. I share this workspace with like a bunch of peeps, right? These are all the peeps that play in the workspace that I use. And for those that are wondering, this is an Azure machine learning workspace where we basically, if you want to build your own machine learning models, this is the tool or platform to help empower your MLOps journey together with your people and your processes. So let's go to the jobs here. Let's go to Rochambeau. And let's figure out why this one failed. I don't remember. So let's go to the logs here. Doot. Is this the right log? Yes. Only eval mode is supported for V1 legacy data set if in V2 job inputs. Okay. So it looks like we just need to make a new data set. Okay. So let's do that. Let's go to our job here and see which data set we used. We use PyTorch Lightning :6, which is nice. There's the target. Where is the data set? There is the data set, Rochambeau version 1. So let's go to that and see where it is. Thank you all. Thank you. Here we go. 577. It looks like it's in this data store. Oh, okay. So maybe what we need to do is maybe we need to make another one. So let's do a new. How do I make a new? I wonder if I can make. I wonder if I can make a. Where's the? How do we make more things? Upload. You know, I don't think I need to change these things, to be honest. I think this is the same data that I've had before. I think I just need to make a new version of the data set. So let's try it. New version from data store. File, of course. Next. Querying data stores. Let's see. I think it was HAL data sets. We have a lot of HAL DStore 3. Come on. Oh, it's experiments. And then the path we want. No, I just want to. How do I create data set from data store? Oh, and then okay. Then we just browse, and we want Rochambeau. Save. Next. Okay, let's create it. Done. I think this is the latest version. So let's go back to our proyecto. File, open recent, Rochambeau. Oh, I need to close this file before it's too late. Can't see it. Okay. And I think we just had to run. Did we just run the job? I'm trying to remember what we did. Should have watched last week's video. Forgot. Okay. Look at now. I need to go back to 2 weeks. Okay, here we go. This is it. This is the command. So I'll copy this. And then let's go to the AI cloud run, because this is our job. I remember we're doing all this. Our training data is Rochambeau 2 now, because that's the one that we just did. So let's fire this bad boy off. Oh no. Okay, and so now we should be back to running our experiment jobs. Where are you at? Rochambeau. Here we go. That's the one that failed. I have all these things. I think I want to put here we go. There you go. Job details. Here we go. Preparing. There you go. Let's make sure. Yep, it's using the right data set. Hopefully this is the right version of the data set that we created. So we should fix that particular problem. And this should be a new model. I'm wondering, what did we decide the model was to be? Let's see. Not here. Model. I think we went with a ResNet 18, didn't we? ResNet 18. Oh, yes. I do. I do want a new version. Yes. Do it. Latest MSI. It's like, I want to know if I can hog your entire computer. You can. You can. My wonderful Azure CLI installation. But yeah, so this is what I just did. I basically am running this machine learning model in the cloud. Dro, sham, bo. Say it with me. Dro, sham, bo. I have not done a sound effect in a while, so what we're gonna do in order to speed this up a little bit. Oh, here we go. I accept. I accept. I will be a tribute. Dro, sham, bo. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if we can speed this up somehow. Because I want to. All right, because it's still preparing. We're gonna have to use extra internet power for this. So let's dial up here on this one. Get some extra juices from the internet. Ugh. Python is running. What? All right, let's close everything. Okay, close them. Let's see what the outputs and logs are. Is it rebuilding the image again? Come on. No rebuilding. It's not rebuilding. It's downloading it. Never mind. I was wrong. You were right, computer. Carry on. Carry on. Carry on. By the way, the cool thing about Azure Machine Learning, and I feel like I need to go into like here. We'll go into like sales mode here. The wonderful aspect of machine learning is that what it does is it enables the reuse of environments for you to run your machine learning workloads with confidence. Not only will the environment work every time, but it will be the exact same environment that you specifically told us to run inside of containers specifically designed to do machine learning. Purchase yours today. All right, everyone want to buy now? Is that cool? Yeah, so it looks like it's running this container. Well, it's rebuilding the image. Dang it. It's going to take like 9 minutes. There's nothing we can do about this image rebuilding business, though. By the way, have some of you gone to the Rochambeau website and played with it? Is it working for you? Let's see. I can actually see if you're doing it right now. Here we go. My internet's unhappy today. Come on, deployment. Oh, it's preparing. So we don't need this. We did the thing. Okay, so here, let's see if y'all are doing stuff on my endpoint. I don't see anything here. Let's go deployment logs. I think that was just me. Yeah, so this comes into here anytime, and it looks like a prediction time. I mean, look how fast this is. Like, it takes 0.000316 seconds to do the prediction. Oh, well, this time it's because it was wrong. Could it find the... Oh, that's why that one was so fast. Never mind. 0.03 seconds to run a prediction. So let's see. I'm spying on y'all. Is anyone 1906 right now? It's 12:19. So okay, but here are the endpoints. This is when you call it, it actually calls to this particular endpoint. And you saw before, I think it was Setu showed you how to do inference. So here's inference. Scissors. But what we do is we basically, from our React, oh shoot, finish, cool. Our Azure CLI is updated. What we do from our React app, you recall, let's go to pages. I think it's an index. You can see that I call the analyze API, right? I fetch this. I push the options in, which in the options contains the actual image, a stringified base 64 encoding of the image. And this goes to our API, which then calls our inference. See that? See that goodness? I'm using Next.js, by the way. So I am what you would call a full stack developer. All right, so Maritz, how would you operationalize your model? Any MLOps framework to recommend? Hold on. I'm going to get this ready. Recently, I've learned that I've been doing MLOps incorrectly. Thankfully, my friends Mo and Setu showed me how to do it correctly using the MLOps v2 framework from Microsoft, something I will be embedding into my application soon, and you should too. Thanks for coming. Did you like that? Mo, was that good for you? I just oh my gosh. That's I should be selling. I should be on the radio for two reasons. One, because my microphone makes me sound awesome. And two, because I have the face for it. Face for it. Okay, these are the jokes, people. Okay. I saw that eye roll. Okay, and it hurt my feelings. All right, so this is what we're doing here on that. Yeah, I need to look into. I'm gonna look into it. Thank you. Mo was like, yes, that is exact. You know what? We should cut that out and put it as a commercial for MLOps V2 for the discerning machine learning enthusiast. Get yours today. Only $19.95 plus shipping and handling. Try for 30 days for free. Actually, try forever for free. You can download the repo. It's free. But the resources are not. Subject to availability. All right. Let's see how our training's going here. So this is this thing. Let's go back to our jobs. Job's latest job. Still preparing, huh? Embarrassing. I've got friends here watching, and you're sitting here building containers. So I think what happens is containers are cached. So if you use them a lot, hold on. Increase the font size. You got it, boss. Control plus. Boop. Is this obscene? Does this feel obscene as far as size? I want to be respectful. Oh, I can go less. One less. I think that's good. We'll use this. Thank you for the reminder. Dad jokes galore. Yeah, I mean, we got time. I'm waiting for the image to build. I think it's time for the book. What do you call a group of chubby newborns? Heavy infantry. Infantry? Oh, this is a good one. Here we go. Student loans. You got me through college. I don't think I could ever repay you. That's a sad one. Oh my gosh, that was a terrible one. For all of us who have student loans. I don't have any, thank goodness. So there you go. Hello, everyone. Hello, my friend. Welcome. We're excited for you to be here. Rochambeau AI ML Ops is working. Yes, it is. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got going on here. So this thing is building. Looks like it's going to be running soon, because I want you to see this thing running in the cloud. Now, again, this little wait time that we had, you're probably wondering, well, is this useful? And the answer really is yes, it is. And the reason why is because, like, managing environments is hard. It's hard. And if your thing works on your machine, that's great, but nobody cares. This here helps us, all of us, so that we can actually run experiments in a way that's helpful to everyone. Okay, so we'll let this one simmer a little bit. It's still baking. You can see that I pass things in. This is using this environment. If you're curious about this environment, it's literally just this. Looks like I'm using PyTorch Lightning 142 and everything else in there. And it's based off a base Docker image that Microsoft provided. So, yeah, it's currently running. Okay. My daughter just finished something. We're so proud of her. Good job. That's what she was saying. Give me the thumbs up. It was awesome. Okay. So let's do this. Let's work on the website a little bit, because one of the things I want to do is I want to be able to, here, let's F5 this. Here we go. Yon dev attached. Localhost 3000. 3000. Same website. See that? Okay. We want to snap this image into this frame right here, and then we want to order this around. So let's do that. Let's see if we can figure that out. Okay. So as soon as we get the, we'll stop this here. We'll go over here. I think we're in the index page, and we gotta recomponent. This is just a huge mess everywhere. So we get the prediction. We've gotten the image frame. So let's take a look at this. So this thing, we need to put it in there. And is this the canvas? Yeah, this is the canvas. And then let's style these a little bit. So, okay. So I want to put this image frame into that picture, into that canvas. I think where is this canvas coming from? Canvas use ref HTML canvas element. And are we getting that from the video? No. This thing. So I'm drawing the image in there. Why isn't it putting it in there? Let's see. Context dot close or flush, or is there a... Yeah, why isn't it working? Let's do this. Let's not do a prediction here. So I don't want to waste the calls to my endpoint. So why isn't it filling this thing up? Oh, wrong place. Wrong place. Well, let me just open it there. That way everyone can see it. Localhost 3000. Hi, Zach. I want to join your team. How about them apples? Alrighty, let's go to this thing. Let's get into the console here. Yeah, I don't care about that fave icon. Nobody wants that. Okay, so let's figure out why it's not. Let's figure out why it's not doing that. Canvas.current. Yeah, I'm console.logging because I am a principal engineer at Microsoft. And that's what we do here. Okay? No shame. I will not be shamed. Yeah, that's the one. Why isn't it drawing to it? That's the one. That's the one. I got the context. What is going on here? I'm assuming this is live. Yes. Otherwise, this would be much more polished. Like, I would be like, and then, you put the button on the Vestryzen, and then you hit the button, and it magically just works. Everyone knows. You watch those videos as an engineer, and you're just like, how many hours did they spend making that thing look exactly the way they wanted to? Many. But not here, friends. We are all just on a Friday. The goal on a Friday is to be like, because Fridays are just like, oh. So hopefully this is mildly entertaining. And then when your boss comes by and she's like, aren't you supposed to be working? You're like, I'm watching a live stream from Microsoft learning how to be a full stack AI developer. I hope you know how much money you're saving by me watching this. Thanks, Bill. Yeah, I don't know why it's not. I'm getting the context of the canvas element. Do I use numerical values to write my programs? Yes. Great question. I think an even better answer. All right, so I am putting context.drawImage into the frame. Okay, let's. Yeah, because this is the request in it. So this doesn't matter. This is just for drawing things into a frame. Let's ask our dear friend how to draw in a canvas element JavaScript. How do we do this? Creating and drawing on HTML canvas using JavaScript. No, that's not what I want. This is like extra. Okay, let's go here. Canvas. Yes. The canvas element features the getContext method that returns a render context object. We did that. What's going on? Why are we fretting? We got the context. We got the 2D context. I logged this out. We got the frame is creating an image. Maybe we don't do that. Maybe I draw it in the canvas.current. Let's see. Okay. Let's go back. Here we go. Put something in here. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Okay. So why isn't it putting it in there? Let's go back to our let canvas document main.get context 2D. When using canvas elements, it's important to check the browser supports get context method. It does. The 2D context, I get it. Fill and stroke. Right. Summary. Yeah, that's boring. That's not what I want. Copy image into canvas. How to copy paste image into canvas JavaScript. JavaScript. Here we go. How to load get context 2D dot source. Huh. So this is what we did, right? Because this, okay, I think what's happening is we're supposed to draw this image into the canvas element context. So we create an image. We set the source equal to, okay, it might be data source. Okay, I think I know what the problem is. Base 64 image source JavaScript. How does it? Okay. So let's go back here. I think this says source. But maybe the frame isn't right. Let's take a look at the frame here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that looks right. The base 64 image is right here. So why isn't it letting me draw that into the canvas? That is so weird. Okay. You need to make sure that after that was all of your script is a head tag. Yeah. This is not a problem. No, I don't need to do that. So draw image. Let me try something real quick. Let me use a ref here. So I know there's a canvas there, but let's just use an image ref. Image. Oh, well, that's handy. Let's ref you up here. Oh, Copilot for the win. So I don't need to do this. I need to say, we don't need this. So we'll say image.current and boom. I think I did miss something, though. No, that's right. It's just the image. Uh-oh. Gosh, I just need to do this. Sorry, it's because TypeScript. If image.current, we'll do this. So we don't need to do this anymore. All right, let's see if this draws the image out so we can get a good sense of. That's cool. Okay, sure. We don't want to print out the image anymore because that's too much. All righty. What do we got? Okay, so that works. What the hee-haw? Why isn't it drawing it in here? The question is, why am I doing a canvas? Yeah, why am I even doing the canvas? That's dumb. 340, 340. We'll do this. We don't need a source. Take that out. And then we'll do this. Bye-bye. Okay. Alrighty. And so in theory, we don't need... We don't need this. We don't need any of this. Bye-bye. Okay. This should fix it. We don't need this anymore. Alrighty. Oh. Yeah. That's ugly. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the yeah. There was image drop last time. Oh, here's a question. Here's a. You have to wait. You have to wait until the image is loaded before you can draw it. Oh, that makes sense. I see. But then why don't I just use the image, right? I mean, I feel like if I just use the image, it's fine. I'll put the placeholder there just for now. Maybe we'll put something else. Maybe we'll put something else there. In the meantime, what was it that we put there? Tell me. 320 by 240. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alrighty. Submit. Okay, now what is this headroom over here? Inspect. What is this? Why is this so below things? The heck? Oh, it's the padding. Top is like 192. Oh, there it is. What are you doing in there? Nice. We'll do that. Not this. Okay. So now when we hit submit, Okay. It's working. Okay. Now let's turn the AI back on. I mean, sometimes I look at this crap and I'm just like, what the heck are we doing as programmers? This is so dumb. Hold on. We got to finish the dictionary, close the object, and then execute it at the end of a dictionary. And then we got to pass in an empty array. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Oh, geez. All right. Now let's get this API stuff going again. We don't need to do that. And let's do this. There's got to be a way to make these percentages. Is there like a toString? Shoot, I'm mixing my languages together now. JavaScript format P. Okay, to fixed 2. To fixed 2. Because those things that it was spitting out was just not cool. Alrighty, that's back on. So let's go over here. Let's hide this. Okay. Rock. Nice. This still looks dumb. Multi by a hundy. Oh, geez. This. Shoot. Crap. Am I going to make a stupid function for this? I am. Const. Inference percentage equals. Oh, look at that. I just don't want to write this times 100 business. Do I have to do this? If I have to do this every time. I might have to do this every time. All right, tell me again. Tell me again. No. What's the other one? How do I tell it to? How do I tell Copilot to suggest something else? No, I don't want to deactivate Copilots. Oh shoot! I am running out of time. What is this? Oh, let's go back. By the way, we forgot that we put our training. Oh no, it failed. What happened? Tell me what happened. What the freak? I thought I changed it. I wonder what is going on. I'll have to research this because this is weird. All right, so let me do this. Let me check this in. No, let me fix that thing. I want to fix this thing because I want to make this look nice. So div ID prediction, class name, no, equals how do we do color? Jeez. Color or blue? I don't even remember. And then font size. How do I do font size or size? I don't remember how to do anything today. What are we using? We are using what am I using here? Tailwind. Tailwind CSS text. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. Text style type. Text. No, that's text align. Text color. That's cool. Text underline. Text overflow. Text indent. Let's do this. Text red 600. And then how do we do size? Font size. We'll do text LG. Yeah, I knew it was something simple. Text LG. Oh, nice. Why isn't this large though? Okay, we just need to make it XLG, and then let's make it bold. We'll do bold here. Bold. Bold. XLG. XLG. And then what we'll do is it was fiction dot. How did they do that? The thing suggested some really good code. I think I'll just use that. So I think it was const inference percent. Oh no. So that's the right thing now for me. There it is. There we go. Oh, jeez. What did it suggest to me? It was so nice. Inference percentage equals. That's it. Okay. Here we go. That's it. Thank you, GitHub Copilot, for the assist. No, we don't need that. Like so. And then this would be paper. Oh shoot! I got to put on my walk-off music here soon. Okay, so then this is going to be paper. This is going to be rock. And then this is going to be scissors. No. Okay, let's take a look and see if this is... Oh, man, this is lovely. Look at this. Look at this goodness. All right, so let's go to this. Pull a little something, something. Rock. Why is that not big? That should be huge. Huge. I don't know. Let me get my walk-off music going here to remind myself that I need to be finished soon. Why isn't that big? Let me see why this is being such a pain in the rear. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any fonty thingies up here. Ooh, let's go 5XL because that's the shirt I'm going to be wearing the next time I go on a cruise, which is probably never. Boom! The Rock. Woo! Paper. Doo-doo. Scissors. Nothing. What? All right. We can stop this madness. I think my web deploy workflow only works on the main branch. Git status. What did we change? Git add dot git commit minus m added better inference styling. Oh, come on. Git push origin dev. Whoop. Git check out main. Woo. Git merge dev. Yes. Okay. What did I all change? 10K changes? Oh, no problem. What are we? There's a problem here. There's a git ignore problem somewhere. Oh, the virtual environment and the VM. All right, friends. Next time on the AI show, our wonderful friend Cassie Breviu will be telling us all the goodness. I don't even know what she's talking about, but it's going to be awesome. Make sure you tune in. It's been a pleasure being with every single one of you. If you have any questions, reach out to me on Twitter. Again, my name is Seth Juarez. This has been the AI Show Live, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Take care.